Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Tuesday night October 17, 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Tuesday night October 17, 24. Transcribed by Wiser now emailed to recaps. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. Let's see what day it is. It is Thursday, October 17th, and you're listening to the big call. Thanks everybody for tuning in all over the globe. Thank you for being part of the big call universe, as we refer to it as, and thank you for just your faithfulness over the years. Over the 13 years, many of you, a lot of you, have listened to the call for that long, and so we appreciate that. We really do appreciate your faithfulness and listening, putting up with us and our shenanigans sometimes, but overall, we're still doing the best we can to put out the best information that we can. And, of course, Sue and Bob along, they help keep me straight. Well, that's good. And let's do this, let's bring in a prayer. Let's pray the call in. Now let's switch gears and go over to the intel that we have created for tonight. First of all, let's talk about what Jeannie brought up in her prayer tonight. The idea of, what about R&R? We've talked about that, and you know that you already have your restitution and your reclamation allowance. R&R in your quantum account that you will activate when you do your exchanges at the redemption center. Those of us who have currencies, those of us who are redeeming ZIM, those of us who are doing these exchanges and going into the redemption center. Which is the only recommendation that we make for you to do, is to set your appointment at the redemption center and go. And I've told you, the rates are higher at the redemption center, and that's going to be your best bet. Okay. So, what you need to realize is that R&R is in your quantum account. You will get a quantum card, which is 3 times the thickness of a credit card. And you'll have that. You'll also plug it in to get this card biometric fingerprint or thumbprint reader that'll put that onto a chip into the card. You'll also have a new you have a username and password for your quantum accounts, username and password. Then you also will have a 5-digit PIN. Which is good for you. So you need to kind of create a 5-digit PIN number, personal identification numbers, what PIN stands for, right? So you'll have a 5-digit on that, and then you'll also have, let's see, beyond that you'll have a brand new email you'll set up for this purpose, of not one that you already have, but a new email, and it might be Gmail. I understand, very secure these days as new people bought Google, and it's a better, safer way to go. So Gmail is good, or whatever you want to use if you don't like Gmail, and then you also would have a new password for that email. So those are steps that you make in setting up your quantum account, getting your quantum account card. So remember, you don't charge anything on this card. This is something that you use only to move money from your quantum account into your primary or secondary bank accounts. Okay, and my understanding is you can tie that quantum account to 3 separate banks. Wells would be the first. If you use a couple of other banks, you could attach those banks to the quantum account at a later time. But on day 1, when you go into your exchanges and redemption of ZIM, you'll get that account set up, your quantum account. And you'll also get a debit, credit card already made out for you at Wells Fargo at the redemption center, which is working through the Wells Fargo bank. You'll have that too, and you'll have funds you'll move from your quantum account into your, let's call it, master account or primary bank account with Wells, and that availability is on your credit, debit card. It's also something you could wire funds from that account if you have large amounts that you need to send off. And it also gives you the ability to write checks on that account if you are a check writer. Okay, so you have ways to access those funds that you move in. And how much can you move in for 60 days? It can be a large amount. Doesn't have to be, a few $1,000 or $100,000. It can be millions or even $1 billion or more dollars that you can move. And then that's all you'll be able to do at the redemption center. Later you can set up, like in my case, I'm using 4 LLCs. I'll have the master account in the name of my master trust. And then the 4 LLC will be in the names of the LLCs that have already set up with, and those will be 4 separate accounts that will be tied to LLCs. That's what I'm going to do. I've been advised to use LLCs instead of nonprofits or foundations. That's just coming from my attorney and his experience of 35 years teaching trust law, and he said, "Look, this is the way we're doing it." And I said, "Yep, that makes sense. Let's do it that way." We set all that up already, so that's going to be ready to go. Now, let's get off of that and we've talked about R&R, let's talk about let's see what the next thing. Oh, Social Security increases. I don't know that I mentioned this on Tuesday. I cannot remember whether I said anything about it. I might have. But just as point of review, Social Security increases are not going to be in October, they are supposed to occur in the month of November. And this is how it works. We get paid Social Security. And you guys already know that if you're receiving it 62 and older, if you sign up for early Social Security, you can get it at the age of 62. My understanding is you can sign up for that 6 months prior to your 62nd birthday, alright? And so something like, I signed up. I'm going starting age 63. Well, if I've been on the ball, I would have signed up 6 months before my 62nd birthday. And had that all ready to go at age 62 would have been nice, but that's just what I did. Some of you guys ride this thing all the way out and not touch it till you're 70 and a half years old. That's your prerogative. Fine. Do what you want to do on social, but increases are coming in the month November, we are told, by a society sec representative we contact. And it's going to be, let's say your first Wednesday of the month is your Social Security Wednesday. First Wednesday, you would get your increase in the second week of the month. Your normal security in the first Wednesday, and then a week later you get your second, which is your increase amount. And we're looking to get increases of 80% to 100% of what you're normally getting, 80 to 100% increase. So those guys that are getting $2,500 or $3,000 a month, to 80% of that, and that's what would be added in your second payment of the month. If your second week, Wednesday, second week, it's your increase in the third week. If your third week, you get your regular Social Security amount in the third Wednesday, then you get your increase in the fourth week. If your fourth week, you would get your regular Social Security in the fourth Wednesday and your fourth Wednesday, and November is the 27th, I believe. And then you would get your addition increase 2 days later, in that case, 2 days later, which would be the 29th of November. November has 30 days. So that's how it's set up to work from our source at Social Security. We'll see if that's what happens. I know we've been pushed month after month after month after month. I remember 3, 4, maybe 5 times. We've been told social was coming and it hasn't yet. I think it started back in April, May, June, July, August, September, wow. It started back in April, it's more like 6 months ago. So that's what I've heard, and that answers, the question about Social Security increases. As far as we know, that's it. Alright. Now let's move into what's going on right now. In terms of, we do watch the Iraqi dinar, which is sort of a linchpin for everything going, and we've read the Iraqi dinar was not on the Forex yesterday or today, as we thought it would be yesterday, and it was not. And we're hearing now it's either going to be on the Forex with a new rate, either Friday night, which is tomorrow night, or Sunday night. My bet is Sunday after the Forex comes back up after having been turned off or closed for 48 hours, which is typical every weekend. From 5 o'clock Friday to 5 o'clock Sunday, it's down. It's down so that they can reconcile accounts on Forex. And I don't see it coming up Friday night. But it could, and it could be Sunday after 5 that it comes back. Alright, so here's the next part. That's good, that's important. We need it to show up. But now where do we stand? Let's talk about bondholders. Bondholders have been told that they are receiving their email, which will let them know when they can have access to their accounts. Those emails were to go out today, tomorrow, or Saturday. 3 days that they would go out: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today's Thursday. They would go out one of those, or maybe all of those, 3 days to bondholders. And it would inform them of when they would have access to their funds in their account. And I believe they're going to find that the date they were told would have access to those funds will be on Tuesday. Now, in keeping with the idea of a shotgun start, the new version of the shotgun start is calling a rollout is being called a rollout. They are rolling out the toll-free numbers to us. And it looks like we're going to get possibly something over the weekend. But I'm also hearing we can get it Monday, possibly Monday morning or mid-morning. That we would receive our toll-free numbers in those emails from Wells Fargo. Why do I say all the way to Monday? Because we know the redemption center staff going in at 9:15, 12:15, they're staggering them going in. Now, why would they be in? Well, it would be so that they can be there to set our appointments at those redemption centers. So personally, I think that's our go date. I think Monday. When we get numbers, we set our appointments to start exchanges, hopefully on Tuesday, which is the 22nd. Now, why the 22nd? Why the 21st, which is Monday? Because the BRICS nations are intending to bring out their reserve currency on Tuesday the 22nd, and you guys know we've had back walls. And had back walls knocked down in the past, and they have never come to fruition. When we've had a back wall in the past, it's never come to fruition for us. I believe we're going to have an opportunity if everything holds out, to get our notification Monday and set our appointments Monday and start exchanges on Tuesday, the 27th. Now that is what we have heard by several of our sources that tend to agree. There's an occasional source that says Sunday or Monday we get notified. Hey, I'm open to it any day, even tomorrow. The word was get ready for the weekend. Well, who is in Tier 4? 4B specifically, we've also heard that the Admirals Group that the Admiral has initiated funding into the Admirals Group's accounts. We also know that so far, nobody in the Admirals Group that we know of has received notification from the Admiral yet of that fact. That they have funds in their account. But I believe that will occur, and it might just time exactly likely with us getting notified on Monday. That's my suspicion, that is that they will be notified at the same time we're notified, and hopefully it will be on Monday the 21st. So that's a long way around to tell you that things are moving forward for us. Hopefully this back wall, if we want to call it that, even though it's a banned phrase on the big call. Just kidding, but it should be, is that we should get this thing moved through. That would put us there on the 21st, the 22nd we would start our exchanges. And go through the end of October. And probably continue on for another week or so in November for exchanges. Remember, the process is, once you see the toll-free number in your email, or on the Big Call Universe website, or in an email that we send out from Big Call Universe, and you have that number as well, we won't send it out unless we confirm that the number is correct. So we'll get that out to everybody that's registered on bigcalluniverse.com, and in that way you'll have it. So when you get that 800 number you'll you'll set your appointment with through the call centers. There are 2, 3, I think 6 of throughout the country, 6 call centers. And that was a regional, probably by time zone, and that way, you'd be able to set your appointment through the call center and get delivered or rerouted, if you will. Once you're on the phone to the redemption center that you indicate is the one closest to you based on your zip code, alright. And once you enter that in and go, you should speak with someone at the redemption center, where you are going to be exchanging a live human being, a nice person that will probably be one of the people you'll be meeting at your redemption center. Okay, so I hope that's clear to everybody. I wanted to make it clear. I wanted to say it again to you. And I can tell you that we still are looking at an extremely high contract rate on Dinar should be offered to us. We have a on par rate on the ZIM. If you know what on par means with the USN, you should by now, and the other currencies are going to be. Except the Dong will be higher. But the other currencies are between 3 and 6.50, the other currencies that are going up in value. So, that is what I wanted to tell you guys tonight, and I think that would take care of most of the questions that you would have. I'm trying to think ahead of what is important to you. Make sure you bring 1 or 2 photo ids of yourself. Make sure you have a copy of a a utility bill, cell phone bill, utility bill that shows your physical home address, so that they know that you're a real person, and you live at this address. Bring that as well. Bring a copy of your presentation that you want to present, which might be a very short presentation, no longer 5 to 8 minutes, but maybe 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. And of course, don't forget your currency. Make sure it is lined up by denomination. If you've got dinar, don't mix your 10,000 notes in with your 25k notes. Don't put your 5k notes, try to separate them by denomination. And if you know and do it that way, same thing's true on ZIM. Same thing's true on all the currencies. Try to keep your denominations, each note with like-kind amounts of each note, and attach them or bundle them, however you want to do it, in envelopes or whatever. Make it easy for them. So they say, oh, okay. 25k in our notes, oh, I see. These are all 200,000 Dong notes, etc., you know? Oh, these are all $50 billion ZIM notes. Oh, okay, these are all trillion or 10T notes of ZIM. These are 50T ZIM notes. These are 100T notes, whatever they are. Try to keep them separated by denomination. Okay, and then get that out so they can go through those, and they'll go through, and that's just terrible. Separate those, and use the Delarue machine to count and verify your currency, and they'll do all of that. So I just wanted to bring that up and say that's what we wanted to cover tonight. I think we should pray the call out, so let's do that right now. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.